Hello and welcome back to the channel where we are building a video game from scratch using Love2d and Lua. I want to fix the Jimmy cam here real quick. Jimmy fell off the window onto the floor, so that's why she's upside down right now. Well, let's get going here. So yesterday we added a new collidable map object of a treasure chest, and it's over here in the dungeon. Yeah, Sasquatch. So this past week, 6 of the past 7 days, I've gotten a crazy bad migraine. So I was like bedridden for like 11 a.m. till 5 p.m. most of this past week, including today. So I kind of just like my body shut down, and then around 6 p.m. I kind of like was able to start my day actually just like being able to just move and eat. So I am not very tired at the moment, but yeah, that's why I'm out late, because I basically woke up at 6 p.m. So we got this little treasure chest, which right now we can't walk through, but the geckos can, which is one part of the issue. But we need to do a couple of things with the treasure chest, which is we need to be able to trigger it to open if we click on it, right? And then it would pop open a little dialog box that says you found the green tunic or whatever it is. And then if we can get the state of the treasure chest opening upon pressing on it, right? And then a little dialog box, and then we can add collision detection for entities and the treasure chest. So that would be nice if we can get that all done today. We have this little, let's see, I think it's in the entity class, or it might be in the player. It might be in the player walk. I'm looking for this. We have this rectangle that is responsible for it's basically like the hitbox for the dialogue transitions, or what do we want to call it, like how a player talks to somebody, where the hitbox triggers a dialogue box to come up. Oh my god. Okay. So I want to say, what was it called? Dialogue something. Let's see if we can find it. Because if we can turn that on, we can kind of see here, dialogue box detection. So if we turn this little thing on, this is in our player class. It's a little, see that little red box in front of us? And we can even make it a little less transparent so we can see it easier. This is what's going to need to trigger the dialog box for the treasure chest. So if the A button is hit and we're in the realm of, it's a dialog box class. So I guess we would just kind of pair a dialog box object with the treasure chest instantiation, and then it would treat it as if it's talking to a signpost. But we would also trigger the treasure chest to be opened, render the new sprite, and then potentially render something like, you know, Tashio holding up that he just got a new thing in the treasure chest. If we wanted to go that route, probably, because it's kind of fun. So let's see here. We should have, we have a we can make a new function for our treasure chest and call it open chest. And if we run this function, all it will do is make our treasure chest image a treasure chest open, and then become opened, because we have this opened as well. So opened gets true, and now our image becomes treasure chest open. So we've got that. Now what we could try is to just go into our map declarations, and once we give ourselves the treasure chest, we can say, this is just a test. We'll go into our collidable map objects at index 1, because that should be the only one in there, and we'll say dot opened, or we can run the open chest on that object, and we'll see if that now shows an open chest in there, and see if we are thinking about this in the right way. Okay, yeah, treasure chest is now open. So we have this little function we can run to open it. So now we need to just call that function on the treasure chest object that we click the A button in front of. And then we can worry about a dialog box. So I know we have I'm wondering if it's in the dialog box update or something that we're checking. We don't really check collision here in the dialog box, do we? This is for advancing the text. Okay, so I'm looking for how we're running the collision detection on our character's dialogue. It's called dialogue box as part of our character, and it's just like the detection. Yeah, see this dialogue box part of our player. So we want to run collision based on this dialog box when A is pressed, but not just for signposts or NPCs, but also treasure chests. So I'm trying to think of where this is. I guess it would be, maybe we have player to signpost? No. Dialog box updates. Okay, so here, if P is pressed, P is our A button. We're saying let's cycle through all of our dialog box objects for our current map. So I guess we could just, because there's no collision detection for the chest itself, but we could put a dialog box object wherever the chest is, or we can pair it. We can nest it inside the chest, so it's like actually a field in the chest. Maybe that's the move. Then we're checking if we collide with that dialog box. Oh man, okay. Then we do all the stuff. It's a lot. It's a lot, but basically we are also checking for a signpost here. Okay, I don't know what this dialog box collided table was. Dialog box collided. Okay. So we have a .dialog box table. Okay. And then we see if what's called the dialog collides, which is checking that specific dialog box collision, not our player X and Y width and height. And if we do collide with any of those dialog boxes, we flush out the line results, reset the text index and line count. We snag what's called the dialog ID, from the index. So whichever dialog ID we have in that dialog box. Okay, so we might have to put... Oh, this is weird. Because here we have it where we're going into our declarations and we go and insert a bunch of dialog boxes, right? So the signpost is the first dialog box, the ice mountain is the second one, the tavern is the third, and the one for the mage is the fourth. So there's 4 dialog boxes for the map. So either we do this same thing where we insert a dialog box into the same scene that a treasure chest is already in, and then this same logic will probably work. We just have to make sure to give the X and Y the same X and Y that our treasure chest is, because what happens with this dialog ID, where do we use this dialog ID? I think this is what we update. If paused, yeah, we update the dialog box at the given map with the specific dialog ID, because when we trigger a dialog box, it pauses our game. So if we're paused, then we need to update a dialog box ID object so that we can advance text and become unpaused by the time we navigate to the end of the text. So I think it could be as simple as just adding a dialog box to our same scene. Make sure we put it in the same spot as the treasure chest. So let's give that a shot and just see if it works. So we have, you know, if we treat this as its own line here, we'd want to insert into our dialog box, dialog box at 112. Dialog box is a table that holds all the dialog box objects. So we're going to say we insert a dialog box and we insert it. It's got 2 values. It's got a width and a height. Okay, yeah, we didn't do it as pretty as our other one, but our arguments here for treasure chest is 3 columns over, 2 rows down. So we have something similar here, but we didn't factor out the tile size, so we're going to say 3, 2. And then the third argument is the text for the treasure chest. So we'll say, you just opened a chest, or you just got treasure, or something. Just to test it. Okay. Then we've got a dialog box object in the map, which we are checking for collision right here. In our play state, we cycle through. Anytime the A button is pressed, we're cycling through all the dialog boxes of the current scene. And if we dialog collides, which is that red square that I just showed, if that collides with the player, or no, if that collides with the dialog box object, then we populate the dialog box collided table, which is essentially just the active dialog box that's going to be rendered onto screen, because we snag this dialog ID, and that's the one that we update once we become paused. So it's kind of strange, but I don't know how to do this. So that's what I got. So it should be checking collision for map declarations 362. It should be checking for the most part. I feel like it should work. We're forgetting a closing paren here. So let's go and also go back to our play state, and we'll say How do we say, hey, our treasure chest needs to become opened at this point before we pause? You know, if the class type is a treasure chest, we should have a class type here. So we have a treasure chest class type for this object, and we can say, you know, I don't think our dialog box, let's go to our dialog box real quick and just give a class type to it, because we only introduced those when we made pushables. So I think in our dialog box we should add a class type, because if this isn't assigned, we try to access the class type field when it's not defined, we'll probably crash. So we probably just have to say that this is a dialog box as a string. Okay, and then here we're going to say, before we pause, we're going to say, if the value of the collidable dialog box that we've just collided with, if that thing's class type is equal to a treasure chest, then we want to take that treasure chest's opened bool. Oh, actually, we already did this, and we just need to run open chest as a method on that. See, and this isn't right, because this is the dialog box object. This isn't the treasure chest. We want to get the actual treasure chest. So this wouldn't work at all, because they're not joined together. Yeah, they're totally separate. So let's just take this out real quick. Let's just see if we become the dialog box on screen saying you just got treasure. And we'll see if the collision detection's working, then we can worry about trying to do the okay. Oh, well, it almost worked. You just got T. Shoot. Now, shoot, man. We ran into this issue so many times that if I didn't end in a space, it wouldn't do the whole word. I thought we fixed it. Apparently not. Let's see if it shows up. Looks like it's in the wrong spot too. It should be, you just got treasure. Okay, so it shouldn't be there. It should be 3 tiles over, 2 tiles down. So 3 tiles over, which would be tile size times 2, and a tile size of 1 down would be, that's jacked up. Yeah, I'd want to rehaul that so it's just like the treasure chest, where we can say which column is it, which row is it, not the multiplied by tile size. Okay, so that should be in the right spot now. I don't like that we still don't, we can't end the string in a solid character. Okay, you just got treasure. And it paused. So that's working. It's not opening the treasure chest. So it how would we link the treasure chest to it? Because right here, yeah, I'm thinking, because the collision detection for, hey, thanks Sasquatch. Yeah, it's been coming along. It's been really coming along. I'm hoping to get a demo here working in the next month, so that we can, I don't know, share it a bit easier and maybe do a Steam page for it. I don't know what what the requirements for putting it on Steam is. I know it doesn't have to be finished, but ideally it's like something, that feels like a game, and mine just feels like a sandbox right now. So I'm hoping we can get it feeling like the first level of a game so that we can submit it on Steam and get people to be able to wishlist it and follow it there. So that's the goal. And then I just made some title screen music for the game like yesterday on my little synthesizer. So hoping we can have a little title screen, do a little intro cinematic for the game, and then give a little exposition, and then you do one dungeon, and then you unlock the tunic, which is what the chest is for, and then you can use the tunic of power to move the log out of your way so that you clear the way up to the ice mountain, and then that'll be the end of the demo. So that's what we're going for. But yeah, this I don't know. How would we link these two things together? We have a dialogue box, which is basically just like collision detection for what triggers a dialogue box, but it is separated from the treasure chest. So there are a couple of collidable map objects, and I guess most of the collidable map objects don't have a dialogue box to trigger. Like a pushable object, a boulder, you can't talk to a boulder and have a dialogue box in there. If there's a locked door, you can't collide with it, but you also can't talk to it. Well, maybe it does say, hey, you need a key for this. A log doesn't have the dialogue box. So I'm trying to think of like if we can, if the dialogue box is anything that's like a raw, like either a sign to be read or a person to be talked to, versus we can add a nested dialogue box inside a collidable map object, and only certain collidable map objects have them, like treasure chests would have an internal dialogue box. And then we can say, outside of our collision detection for dialogue boxes, we can say, hey, let's cycle through our collidable map objects, and if we have anything that's a treasure chest or a locked door, because both of those would have a dialogue box, let's go ahead and run collision detection on our dialogue collides with the treasure chest dot dialogue box, which is the actual object. That's one idea I've got to kind of to couple this data together. Yeah, and then I do want to refactor the tile size out of the dialogue box. I think that is not so useful. Okay, so let's see if we can go into our treasure chest, and we'll give ourselves a dialogue box table. It's empty, but this we can use table.insert to actually give us a table that we can index into for the collision detection. So instead of going into the dialogue box, we're going to go, and you know what? It's almost like we need it. It's almost like we need it as a parameter, because then we can just insert it right here and then be done with it instead of having to do it twice. So part of me wants to say that treasure chest, you give it an X and a Y to put it on the tile size, and then it also accepts as a third argument the dialogue box, which we'll have to refactor soon. Because ideally we can just say 3-2 and give it just like that. Let's say treasure. Okay. So we accepted as a third parameter a dialog box object. We close our two parentheses here. Is that right? I think we need 3. Yeah. This closes dialog box, this closes treasure chest, and then this closes the table.insert. That's pretty nasty. Okay, so now in our treasure chest, we'll just make sure that we say there's a third parameter here, and it is the dialog box object. And then we'll say the dialog box, the dot dialog box field gets this actual object that we pass in. I think that'll work. I think that'll work. And then, okay, so we're inserting a dialog box inside the treasure chest and inserting the treasure chest into the collidable map objects in the dungeon there at map 112. Okay, so now in our play state, when we're cycling through only our dialog box objects here. We need to cycle through our collidable map objects that might have a treasure chest or that might have a dialog box. So this is our straight up dialog boxes, which we would need to do all this stuff. But then, and that's why I liked the idea of just inserting it as its own .dialog box, because then we didn't have to change any of this. But now it's a little messier, and now we have to cycle through. We have to cycle through our collidable map objects and then check what class type they are to see whether or not we need to check collision for a dialog box. So we'll cycle through. Oh my goodness. Column dot collidable map objects. Okay, so we cycle through collidable map objects, and if the values dot class type is equal to that of a treasure chest, or we don't have this yet, but I'm gonna say locked door, then we're going to check collision for a dialog box. So we're going to do essentially the same stuff, but not on the dialog box, but on the given value that is equal to the treasure chest itself. So we're going to see if our player's red box in front of us is going to... oh, hey, nice, dude. Hey, I'll check it out when it's up. Yeah, hey, share it in the Discord when it's live. And then I'll check it out. That sounds cool, dude. Yay, have a good night, man. Yeah, I know it's late. I don't expect anyone to be watching right now on a Monday or a Sunday night. Yeah, if we collide and then it's not this dot dialog box K. It's actually going to be we're going to substitute this dialog box at index K with, it's going to be the collidable map objects. Oh no, this whole thing is going to be V, right? V dot. Okay, this should be easier. Yeah. It should be... I don't know of an easier way to delete. Crap, man. Crap. Yeah, we're going to see. Okay, so the V is the collidable map object, so that's the treasure chest. So we need to go into the treasure chest's dot dialog box. Yeah. So we would say V the treasure chest's dot dialog box. Now index K of here. That's not right. I think it would just be 1. Yeah. So let's do this, and we'll say line 2 result, line 3 result, and then line count and text index all need to be reset. Cool. Okay, and then, shoot. Self dialog box ID. Oh, dialog ID. Okay. Oh no, this is getting jacked up because it's going. Shoot. We're pulling the K of the index of the collidable map object, not the dialog box ID. So when we run the dialog ID update, nope. When we run the dialog ID update, we're updating. Oh shoot. Yeah, this is. Yeah. So in order to get the dialog on screen, it needs to be in the dot dialog box. Okay. Yeah, it's not so easy like I was hoping. It's almost like we can say that we would just do v.dialogbox index 1 update if it's a non-traditional dialog box insertion, such as a treasure chest or locked door. I don't like the idea of splitting out this dialog box. I don't like this. In this case, the dialog ID would be 1 because there's only one dialog box inside our treasure chest. But we still need to know which index of collidable map objects to run the update on. So I guess if K is the treasure chest, this is weird. Okay, I'm kind of thinking that our dialog box class can use, because look, we're listening for a paused becoming false on the last page. And I'm thinking that we can have another value. Oh man, this is crazy. I'm thinking we can have like another value that says whether or not this is a treasure chest or not. So like if it's a dialog box that goes to a treasure chest, because if it is, we need to not update the dot dialog box of our scene, but we need to update the dialog box ID of our current collidable map object. Oh my gosh, that is just weird. But if we walk it through and try it, let's see, because treasure chest is false. So if we collide with a class type of treasure chest, let's say that this v dot, was it a self treasure chest? Yes. So we should be able to say, okay, well, treasure chest value gets true first. Then we're going to do all the stuff we normally do, but to the index 1, because there's only going to be one dialog box per treasure chest. We're going to snag the index of the collidable map object that has the dialog box. So far so good. We're going to insert into our dialog box collided table not the dialog box ID, but we need to insert the collidable map object at index k dot dialog box index 1. I think. Yeah, we want to give it the only dialog box that's in there. And then so in this dialog box collided, where do we other use this? Dialog box collided. We render the dialog box collided. Only render collided signpost. Not sure what that is, to be honest. Let's see where we do the update for the dialog ID. So the dialog ID. And it looks like we do it right here if we're paused. Yeah, see, we don't want this. We want to say, okay, if, and it's almost like this treasure chest option needs to be enabled in the play state, not in the object, because right now we don't have access to the current scene's object that we just collided with, unless, yeah, that's tough. Okay, so where did we just assign our treasure chest to become true? Right here. So the thing that's becoming treasure chest true is the value that's in our collidable map objects. Yeah, we don't have a way to easily check. I'm thinking this treasure chest value, let's call it treasure chest option. And we're setting it true, and we need to take it out of our dialog box object and instead put it in the play state so that we can force the update on a treasure chest if treasure chest option is true. So we'll say it needs to be in the init. So treasure chest option initialized as false. Then if P is pressed, if the A button is pressed, we're going to cycle through, see if we're colliding with any of the dialog boxes, if there are any. If there aren't any, we're going to go cycle through all our collidable map objects and check their class types. Okay, if it's a treasure chest or if it's a locked door, then we're going to check for that dialog collision with that given object of V. So our V, let's see, collidable map objects. Yeah, so what's in the collidable map objects is a treasure chest with a dialog box, but the dialog box and the treasure chest have the same XY width and height. So running dialog collides on the V should trigger a collision. We're setting our treasure chest option to be true. If this is the case, we snag the dialog ID of the collidable map object, not the dialog box. That's the tricky part here. Then we're going to insert dialog box collided so that I guess, I still don't actually know what that's actually doing. But when we go to update the dialog ID right here, we're going to see, hey, is our treasure chest option true? If our treasure chest option is true, we don't want to update the dialog box. We want to upload the dialog box that belongs to the treasure chest, which is going to be in not the dialog box table, but the collidable map objects table at index dialog ID, and it's the dialog box in that treasure chest, and it's index 1. Yeah, and that's what we want to update. Then we need to do another thing, which is put the normal update in the else clause here, so that we can update normal dialog box IDs if it's a signpost or an NPC. But we need to turn our treasure chest option false if we unpause, essentially. So we need to become, let's see. It's in the dialog box class, because we're updating it. That's the only thing that's being updated once the game is paused, and once we're looking for paused getting false. Okay, so if the button, oh crap, yeah, there's two. Paused gets false. Where is this? Pause gets false for the touch and for the press. Okay. So I want to just say, yeah, once we become, oh shoot, we don't have access to the play state here, do we? Shit. We don't have a way. Oh, it's a global. So we should, is it a global? We need to make it a global. Yeah, we just need it to be a global treasure chest option. So let's see, treasure chest option. Yeah, we need to make it a global because we need access to it. So we'll just do it over here. I don't know. We'll have a field day organizing some of this stuff. Okay, our global treasure chest option's false. If we collide with a class type of treasure chest, we're going to turn that option true, and turning that option true will change what's being updated. Instead of updating our dialog box, we're updating the dialog box that's inside the collidable map objects that belongs to the object that we just collided with, which is the dialog ID. And then when we're updating our dialog box, we need to say, instead of becoming paused false, and that's it, we need to say, hey, this option that we had, this treasure chest option, is now reverted back to false. And we need to do that for the P press as well as our touch detection. Touch. Okay, right there. Okay, chances that this will work. Slim to none, right? Let's see. What we're looking for is treasure to be in the treasure chest once we click it. And we crashed. Play state 268. Yeah, it didn't like the dialog box index 1. We did insert it. Yeah, we inserted it there as a third argument. I don't think that makes a difference. We should spawn us in 112 so we don't have to keep walking over there. We already had a shortcut for it. Okay. Oh my gosh. Why did that work? Why did brackets work? Let's see. We take out the brackets. Breaks. What the heck? Okay. Well, I guess in terms of assigning a class into a field, if you don't put it in brackets, it's not indexable. That's my guess. I'm kind of astonished that worked, but I am not going to argue it. So now what we want to do is open the chest, right? We click on it, we open the chest. So whenever we turn treasure chest option to true, nope. Yep. We need to become not only opened, but we can run our method, which is open chest. We run our method right there. Let's test it. Oh my goodness, it works. It opens. That's epic. Let's turn off our player class dialog box. This is epic. Let's turn this off. Okay, so we can say click on it, treasure. Cool, and then it stays open. Now, if we walk out, walk back in, it should be opened still. And it is. And we can still collide with it. So that's an issue, right? We need to only run the dialog box update if it is not already opened. So we only want to do this stuff if the v dot opened is false. So if not opened, then let's go ahead and do all this stuff. And we also have to do this for touch detection for the mobile deployment. Let's open it from the side. It works. And then we can walk off, walk back on. It's still open. And then I'm going to try to open it again, and it doesn't pop up. So that's great. Get out of here, dude. Get out. This is awesome. Ideally, we would have another layer of this, which is like Tashio faces us and holds up whatever's in the treasure chest, right? We don't have to do that, but it's just, a Zelda thing that is just fun in games. But yeah, once it's open, it's kind of there and just opened, which is my intention, because only special key items like elements, tunics, and tomes are probably going to be in these treasure chests. And maybe your occasional piece of heart container or big old coin sack or something like that. So what else do we need to do? I'm going to limit this to just type treasure chest. That is I don't know if I like the fix we came up with, but it's a complex thing and I don't know what to do otherwise. We need if the dialog collides on a touch press, not just on a keyboard P press. So I think we do have. Let's see for any dialogue collides. Are we running it? Oh, come on. Yeah, let's start at the top here. This is in touches. Okay, so here's the touches. So we need the corresponding treasure chest check or a touch. So we'll yank this. We'll look for the touch detection, and we'll do one with the P press. Well, yeah. That's so if buttons 1, which is our A button, collides with touches K, which is the current touch, and it's only touched for the first time, then we're going to cycle through our dialog boxes. Cool. Then we're going to cycle through our collidable map objects. Cool. And everything else should be the same. That should work for touches now. So should work on the mobile deployment when we do that. I'm not going to test that tonight, but should work. Okay. So we've got treasure chest opening, dialogue for the treasure chest, dialogue turning off once it's opened. We'll need to add collision detection for treasure chest and entities. And then we also need to do I guess we don't need to, but to turn Tashio around, have him hold up whatever he's got. We don't have a sprite for that, but we probably should. I think I'd like to. We can just make, a sprite of him holding something above his head, and then we can just insert whatever image of whatever's in the treasure chest, so that there's an image to pair with the text, and then once we pause, we go back to idle state, whatever direction he's facing. I think that's good to do. We won't do that tonight, but we'll add that to our notes here. Notes. Yeah, we'll say, let's say add Tashio. What do we call it? Like when he's holding something he finds, what stature is that? What pose is that? Tashio getting treasure face, getting treasure sprite, and then add treasure sprites for different treasures. And then we would want to trigger, once we open the chest becomes open, Tashio becomes facing down, Tashio becomes the sprite of whatever he's holding. See, and then this becomes more complicated because he could be holding some equipped items. He could be having some certain colored tunics equipped. So we'd have to do all of that logic, or all of those sprites for the corresponding outfit, which is one point towards maybe don't do that. I don't know if I want to do that now that I think about it, because we're having plenty of issues with the tunics being consistent as is. So if we go to face him down, I don't know. Seems like an excuse to me, because I don't want to deal with the complexity that I made. We'll try it. If it gives us a headache, maybe we'll nix it, but we'll try it, because I do think it'd be cool. I mean, it's kind of like a staple in this Zelda series to be like ba 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 and hold up what you got. I'm going to commit here. I'm going to say that this is added working treasure chest to dungeon. Cool. And then tomorrow we'll probably work on the sprite and see if we can tackle that. We'll raid out here. Probably hit up Booyah Grandma because he's raiding, or because he's streaming right now. Booyah Grandma. Thanks for watching. I'll be back tomorrow. Hopefully we get some more good stuff done.